My wife crept out of bed at M to hack my phone and steal $400,000 for her secret lover's vacation. She returned bragging about how she emptied my accounts, but I burst into laughter because every penny she stole was completely fabricated. The digital clock glowed to 17 when I detected subtle movement next to me. Talia, my partner of 6 years, was carefully extracting herself from our shared bed, moving with the silence of a trained operative. My military experience from Afghanistan had perfected my ability to maintain the appearance of deep sleep while remaining fully conscious, a survival skill that would prove invaluable in this moment. I stayed completely motionless, observing through nearly closed eyelids as she disappeared into the dark hallway. After allowing exactly 10 minutes to elapse, I quietly pursued her path toward our main living space. I found her positioned on our sectional sofa, her face illuminated by the bright screen of my smartphone, distinctly my device, not her own, which I could identify by the characteristic crack along the protective casing's edge. She had somehow circumvented my security measures and was installing some form of application, her fingers navigating the interface with suspicious expertise. The aged wooden floor beneath my feet announced my presence with its familiar creak. "Oh, my, you startled me," she declared, spinning around while forcing a smile across her features. "Why are you using my device?" I questioned, maintaining an even, controlled vocal tone. "Just verifying something quickly," she responded with rehearsed casualness. "I wanted to examine those photographs from our dinner outing. Your camera quality surpassed mine significantly." I acknowledged her explanation with a measured nod. "Please return it to our bedroom when you've finished." I departed without awaiting her response, permitting her to believe her deception had been successful. What Talia failed to realize was that just hours earlier, my cybersecurity monitoring service had sent me an alert regarding an unauthorized access attempt on my decoy financial system, a fabricated banking environment I had constructed months prior. When I first suspected someone was attempting to investigate my finances, the snare was perfectly positioned. She had just walked directly into my carefully laid trap. 3 complete days passed before Talia implemented her scheme. Upon returning from my evening fitness session, I discovered our residence unnaturally quiet and noticeably emptied. Her wardrobe had been partially cleared, bathroom necessities removed, jewelry collection completely absent. Positioned on our kitchen counter was a hastily composed message: "Don't waste time attempting contact. I've begun a new chapter. You'll survive just fine. I'm finally pursuing genuine happiness. This is goodbye." Attached to this note was a bank statement printout displaying a $400,000 withdrawal from what she believed represented my primary financial account. Access through her midnight application breach. My cardiovascular system remained steady. My extremities showed no trembling. Rather than experiencing anger, I felt a cold sense of vindication as I proceeded to my private office and accessed my secured computer terminal. My legitimate accounts displayed no interference whatsoever, exactly as I had anticipated. The reality is simple. I am not an individual who can be robbed without facing serious consequences. Talia had penetrated an elaborate counterfeit banking website I had specially engineered to perfectly replicate my authentic Chase banking interface. Identical visual design, matching notification systems, every element precisely duplicated except for one critical factor: it possessed no connection to my actual financial assets. The $400,000 she had appropriated existed exclusively within a fictional cryptocurrency wallet I had generated specifically for this exact scenario. Meanwhile, over the preceding months, I had discreetly and completely legally transferred our genuine savings into a trust account bearing only my name. She had been too distracted by her extramarital relationship to notice these authorized financial movements. The funds she had gleefully stolen possessed no legal validity, no federal deposit insurance protection, and no recovery mechanism because they had never existed in reality. I had even labeled the crypto wallet illusion assets as a personal joke. Examining the IP address logs confirmed the breach originated from my phone, precisely according to my plan. I closed my laptop with deep satisfaction, stepped onto our back porch, lit a cigar, and watched the sun paint the evening sky with brilliant colors. She was convinced she had executed the perfect financial crime. She remained completely unaware that the genuine performance was only just beginning. On a Tuesday morning, the mechanical garage door announced her homecoming, followed by the unmistakable sound of high heels striking our marble flooring. I felt no compulsion to rush toward her. Instead, I maintained my seated position at our dining table, dressed in a perfectly pressed black business suit, laptop computer open, with soft jazz music flowing from our audio system. Talia entered, our home radiating absolute confidence, her skin bearing the golden tan of tropical vacation destinations, her hair styled to perfection, expensive designer sunglasses positioned atop her head. The fragrance of premium perfume followed her path alongside her Louis Vuitton travel luggage. Well, I suppose you miss my presence? She announced with unmistakable smugness. I glanced upward with manufactured surprise. You've returned home. Her laughter resonated throughout the room as she produced a small metallic flash drive, flourishing it like a victory trophy. I anticipated you would demonstrate some resistance, but instead, you simply permitted me to claim everything I desired. Your careless digital banking practices made that $400,000 absolutely magnificent throughout Europe. She positioned herself in the chair directly across from mine, displaying a wide, satisfied grin. I hope you won't object that I sampled your precious emergency savings while you sulked like an obedient husband. I studied her carefully for several moments, then released a quiet chuckle. What exactly do you find amusing? She demanded, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. I rotated my laptop screen in her direction and activated the playback function. The footage commenced, airport surveillance showing her embracing her companion, midnight recordings of her accessing my banking application, the precise moment of the fraudulent transfer execution, her signature on registration documents at a luxury Ibiza resort. A second mouse click revealed an additional window. An official legal document bearing formal letterhead, official notice of premeditated financial fraud and asset theft, evidence documentation submitted for case file 48579B. Her facial expression transformed to pure terror. What exactly is this? I stood with complete composure. That document represents the beginning of your fantasy's final chapter. You're attempting to deceive me, she protested. You cannot prove any accusations. I raised a single eyebrow. That flash storage device in your handbag? I created a complete duplicate last evening. It contains digital metadata, precise geographical location tags, exact time stamps, plus an unencrypted access key you accidentally left within my server records. Her complexion turned ashen. That mobile device you utilized wasn't merely accessing my account, it was systematically recording every single keystroke, every screen touch, every navigation movement. Wait, that's impossible. Everything constitutes legally admissible evidence. I interrupted her protest. And remarkably, I haven't initiated criminal charges yet. Her arrogance completely crumbled into panic. But that money has been spent. We used every dollar. What exactly do you want? I leaned forward slightly. Justice. Before Talia could formulate a response, our front doorbell chimed. She jumped noticeably. I remained perfectly still. Upon opening the entrance, I stepped aside to reveal a gentleman wearing a tailored navy business suit. Detective Warren Matthews, Financial Crimes Investigation Unit, he announced with professional authority. May we please enter your residence? Behind him stood a second investigator dressed in civilian clothing, carrying electronic equipment and a dark portfolio. Talia's mouth opened in shock. You actually contacted law enforcement? I smiled, allowing my satisfaction to become visible. Not exactly. Detective Matthews isn't present to arrest you. Not at this moment. He's here to verify specific information regarding your recent travels. Matthews seated himself across from her and opened his documentation folder. Miss Talia Brandt, we possess official statements and signed transaction receipts linking your passport identification, your mobile device's IP address, and this gentleman's banking account to a series of high-value purchases made throughout Spain, France, and Italy. Do you deny traveling through Europe during the past 2 weeks with an individual named Alex Rains? Talia stared at me with absolute horror. You provided them with all the evidence? I shrugged dismissively. That wasn't necessary. Alex handled that responsibility himself. Her eyes widened dramatically. What do you mean? I slid my smartphone across the table surface, displaying a current photograph. Alex in handcuffs being escorted from an upscale Los Angeles condominium. Alex wasn't simply your romantic partner, I explained. He's a career criminal fraudster currently under investigation for multiple major financial crime cases. He was exploiting you as well, using your lavish lifestyle to launder illegally obtained money. Matthews nodded in confirmation. We apprehended him earlier today. He's been extremely cooperative, providing screenshots, private message logs, video recordings, even boasting about how you established the fraudulent bank transfers yourself. Talia began experiencing rapid breathing. I had no knowledge. He informed me you were concealing money from me. Indeed, I was concealing funds, I confirmed, but not for the reasons you assumed. I approached our wall-mounted safe, retrieved a substantial black folder marked with gold official stamps, and placed it directly before her. Divorce proceedings documentation filed with comprehensive fraud evidence. I added casually, incidentally, the money you believed you stole wasn't genuine. That account was a simulated shell system populated with dummy routing numbers. You obtained zero actual dollars, Talia? Her expression completely collapsed. But the hotel reservations, the first-class airline tickets, all prepaid using a temporary credit card. I canceled immediately upon your departure, I explained. Matthews displayed a slight smile. She will still face criminal charges for attempted fraud and assisting a known felon. Talia became deathly pale. You've completely destroyed my life. I locked eyes with her, my voice remaining calm yet razor sharp. Negative, Talia, you destroyed your own life. I simply ensured the mirror provided a crystal clear reflection. 48 hours after Detective Matthews departed with a trembling Talia, who was released on bail to an inexpensive motel, I poured myself premium Scotch whiskey and activated my laptop computer. The time had arrived for the final performance. While Talia had consistently mocked me as boring and excessively trusting, she never comprehended that I was equally methodical and well-connected within relevant networks. Weeks before she implemented her scheme, I had already contracted cybersecurity specialists to monitor all activity on my devices. Upon detecting her application installation attempt, I had constructed the fraudulent banking interface complete with false account balances and security monitoring traps. I was now prepared to execute the concluding step. I uploaded a meticulously edited video file to a private YouTube address. The content included residential security camera footage of her midnight office infiltration, screen captures of the fake account she had accessed, timestamp photographs of her and Alex enjoying champagne in Paris, plus the devastating audio recording from Alex's confession where he laughed while stating, Talia represents the simplest target I've ever encountered. She believed she was controlling the entire scam. The irony is absolutely perfect. I distributed the video link to her employer's human resources department, the executive partners at her professional firm, several members of her prestigious social circles, and naturally her parents who had once remarked, "You're extremely fortunate she selected you." Within mere hours, the content exploded across digital networks. Text messages arrived first, followed by voicemail recordings, then official news that her company had placed her on indefinite and paid suspension pending comprehensive internal investigation. Her Instagram profile disappeared completely. Her supposed best friend Jessica left a voicemail message. I cannot believe she betrayed you in this manner. I sincerely apologize. If you require anything, even conversation, I'm available. I deleted that message immediately. Then arrived the telephone call I had been anticipating. Unknown caller identification. You genuinely believe you've achieved victory, don't you? Talia's voice sounded completely broken and exhausted. Incorrect, I responded calmly. Victory would have implied I desired revenge. I sought peace. You simply forced me to endure hell to obtain it. I'll inform everyone this represented your psychological manipulation, she hissed with venom. You controlled me, gaslit me, drove me toward this action. Feel completely free to proceed, I replied. They've all witnessed the video evidence. You would benefit more from negotiating a plea agreement than pursuing a sympathy campaign. Silence followed. Then the line disconnected. The following morning brought newspaper headlines. Prominent corporate executive implicated in international fraud investigation. Romantic connection to notorious confidence man exposed. I powered down my mobile device, packed a single duffel bag, and departed for the airport carrying only a one-way ticket to Iceland. While passing through airport security, my phone vibrated with her final text message. You were never boring. You were absolutely terrifying. I smiled with satisfaction, boarded my aircraft, and abandoned the chaos she had created alongside the empire I had quietly reconstructed beneath everything. 12 months later, I stood on the balcony of my modern cabin overlooking the snow-covered mountains and tranquil waters of Thingvellir, Iceland. The peace was absolutely intoxicating, something I hadn't genuinely experienced in over a decade. Life had undergone complete transformation. Following Talia's betrayal, I liquidated my remaining US-based consultancy ownership shares and relocated to Iceland under a new business venture, a discreet digital forensics firm operated anonymously through proxy companies. The purpose wasn't profit generation. The mission was assisting people like myself who had been blindsided by betrayal but lacked resources for retaliation. I named it the Beacon Project. Quiet, precise, devastatingly effective. Regarding Talia, she was no longer the woman who had arrogantly departed our shared life carrying $400,000 and a passport filled with illusions. Following the internal investigation and the damaging footage I released, her company terminated her employment publicly. Multiple publications covered the scandal, and her reputation was thoroughly destroyed. It was revealed that Alex had defrauded numerous other victims. He had fled to Dubai using forged identification documents. When authorities finally apprehended him, he surrendered everything, including screenshots of their text message conversations plotting financial fraud. 6 months later, she faced arrest again, this time for fraud and identity theft charges. She avoided imprisonment through a plea bargain agreement, but the required restitution payments financially destroyed her. Her credit rating was completely ruined. She currently works part-time, managing appointments at a failing fitness center in a Nevada strip mall. I never responded to her final email. The subject line was blank, containing only the text, "Do you ever miss what we shared?" I never opened it. No need existed. As for Alex, he couldn't disappear quickly enough. The forged documents connected to his Dubai escape created a paper trail, and a class action lawsuit by additional victims resulted in his imprisonment in Bahrain. Last information indicated he was serving a 10-year sentence for financial fraud. Quite fitting, considering he once ridiculed me for being excessively cautious concerning myself. I achieved peace with history, not through forgetting, but by transforming it into something meaningful. I maintained my principles. I remained silent throughout the storm. When the appropriate moment arrived, I didn't need to shout. I allowed truth to handle the screaming. The finest revenge isn't rage. It's reconstructing quietly, powerfully, in complete view of those who assumed you would never recover. Was this retaliation completely justified? What would have been your choice in this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Appreciate this story. Share it with someone who needs this inspiration, and subscribe for additional jaw-dropping tales of betrayal and justice, because in this space, every lie encounters its judgment, and every betrayal discovers its shadow. Stay alert, stay strong, and stay connected.